The Indiana Pacers have come too close, fought too hard, been counted out too many times for their dreams to end now. They remember the pain of falling 2 points short of the finals a year ago. But comebacks are what got them here. And as long as there is time.
Gotta be a catch and shoot. Here it is. Smith with the catch and the shot.
Then there is hope. The Orlando Magic have never been this close. Success has come with startling speed. Their maturation continues with every shot, every rebound, even every miss. Tonight, the Magic can take one giant step into their future. They are one victory away from the finals. The Pacers are hoping for yet another comeback. There is still. Game 6 is next.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1995 NBA Playoffs. Tonight, it's Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Orlando Magic and the Indiana Pacers.
It is back to Market Square Arena in Indianapolis with the season on the line for the Indiana Pacers, while the Orlando Magic hoping their next game will take place in the NBA Finals. We welcome you to Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Final, and this crowd. Everybody, Marv Albert along with Matt Kukas, and back in Game 5 Wednesday night in Orlando, Shaquille O'Neal certainly came out all fired up. He was able to avoid foul trouble, came through with an outstanding all-around performance, but Matt, back here in Indiana, he has not been able to dominate.
Well, Shaq said he played with a lot of anger in Game 5, but I saw a lot of poise and self-control. And look at the huge numbers for the 3 games in Orlando. But early foul trouble has cost him playing time and production here in Indiana. Now Shaq loves to show his open court skills, and Reggie just can't foul him hard enough. And when he catches this close to the basket, forget about it. And down the stretch, his shot-blocking presence was a major factor. And for the Magic to close it out, Shaq needs anger, he needs poise, and he needs to dominate in every way.
And on Wednesday night, Orlando did an effective defensive job against Reggie Miller, who's put up top-flight numbers, but Reggie has not been able to put his stamp on this series to this point.
Well, just as Shaq was the man in Game 5, Reggie Miller has to take his whole game to another level tonight, and you cannot overlook his numbers. Much improved over the regular season. But Reggie is the identity of this team, and his value is more than just stats. And in this series, we have not seen the edge, the feistiness that makes him special. And for the Pacers to survive, Reggie Miller has to be totally involved right out of the gate.
All right, so coming up on Costas, we'll take a look back at the Houston Rockets' clinching victory over the San Antonio Spurs last night. And then Game 6 between the Pacers and the Magic.
Bob Costas in New York. Tip-off at Market Square just a few minutes away. Meanwhile, the Western Conference champions have already been crowned, and for the 2nd straight year, it's the Houston Rockets. What a story they've become, starting as the 6th seed in the West and knocking off the top 3 teams in the league by regular season record San Antonio in 6. Houston hoping to break the series-long home team hex, and they were led once again by Akeem Olajuwon, who was just magnificent at both ends of the floor. 39 points, 17 rebounds, 5 blocks, and yet another dreamlike performance. The Rockets looked very much in control early in the fourth quarter. They used an 8-0 run to build an 84-77 lead. But the Spurs wouldn't go away. Doc Rivers keyed a San Antonio run with 7 points as they rattled off 10 straight to take a 1-point lead with 3:23 remaining. Houston answered, though, with Robert Horry's 6th three-pointer of the game to put them up by 4 with 2 minutes to play. They went on to defeat the Spurs, earning a return trip to the finals. Olajuwon outplaying the league's MVP, David Robinson.
I don't think that I've felt anything like this since I've been in sports. It's just disappointing. You know, you play so hard, and it's just a crummy way to end a good year.
I probably won't be here next year. Most likely I won't. I'm too much of a distraction, what they call distraction. Wherever I go, I'm going to be a success no matter what, and hopefully that if I do come back, we can come back, and hopefully we'll be a little hungrier. If not, good luck to everybody, and thanks a lot, and hopefully that everybody's get what they want.
Well, this team has been great since the day I got here, and to be able to go to the finals has been phenomenal, especially when nobody really gave us a chance to go past the first round.
Regardless of what people that they say you can't do this, you can't do this, when you keep striving, and nobody expects us to be back in the finals. And this is it's wonderful just to know that we're back there now.
There is a small price for this joy, and it involves the Clyde Drexler for Otis Thorpe trade, which paid such big dividends for Houston. Under the terms of that deal, Portland gets Houston's first-round pick in this month's draft now that the Rockets have advanced to the NBA Finals. Portland thus has the 18th and 19th picks. At halftime of tonight's game, we'll be joined live by Akeem Olajuwon. And if you're wondering about Akeem and the Rockets' next opponent, should it be Orlando? The Magic won both games in the regular season. Shaq and Akeem scored the same number of points, but O'Neal had the edge on the boards. If it's Indiana and Houston, they split their 2 games, each winning by 5, each winning on the road. But Olajuwon dominated Smits, holding him to 7.5 per game while scoring 35. Coming up, it's Game 6 of the Magic and Pacers at Market Square. That was the setting earlier in the week for the Game 4 Classic.
They are on their feet at Market Square Arena. Hardaway checking the clock. Here's Bryant Shaw for 3. Miller taking the shot and Hardaway down to 3. Here is the three-pointer. Yes! With 1 3/10 seconds to go. Here it is. Smits with the catch and the shot.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Red Dog Beer. Bold yet smooth, unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog. By the new Ford Explorer, far and away the best Ford Explorer ever. And by Gatorade Thirst Quencher, who reminds you that sweat loves company. Life's a sport. Drink it up.
We welcome you back to Indianapolis, Indiana, where Orlando has lost 8 straight games. That includes last season's playoff clincher. The Magic have not won here in Indiana since November of 1992. Let's check out the starting lineup first for the Magic. In the backcourt, Anthony Hardaway, Nick Anderson. Anderson bouncing back with 8 for 11, 19 points, getting back into the offense in game number 5. Shaquille O'Neal coming off a very strong performance up front with Dennis Scott and Horace Grant. And the coach of Orlando, Brian Hill, for the Indiana Pacers. In the backcourt, the combination of Mark Jackson and Reggie Miller. Mark Jackson with another strong game Wednesday in Orlando. And Larry Brown looking for more from Reggie Miller. Rick Smits in foul trouble right throughout in game number 5. Up front with Derek McGee and Dale Davis, who is not a factor in his 27 minutes on Wednesday night. And there is the head coach of the Indiana Pacers, Larry Brown. The officials, Ed T. Rush, Ron Garrison, and Dan Crawford. And we're ready for game number 6.
Well, the Pacers have been unable to keep the Magic under 50% in any of the games this series. In fact, the Magic shooting 53%. And actually, the best defense for Indiana has been their offense when they are aggressive and when they take the ball to the basket, because that's when they can possibly get Shaq in foul trouble or some of the other Magic players. And
on the opening tip against Shaquille O'Neal. And it's controlled by Orlando. Hardaway with some 6 inches on Jackson, although Mark Jackson has played well this series, particularly the last 3 games. Shaquille getting position. Here comes McKee with the double team. And rebounded by McKee.
Good job that time by the Pacers. A little more pressure on the ball. That's what Larry Brown needs from his perimeter players, so Rick Smits can shove just a little bit more on Shaq to get him out there, so then that double team can come and be effective.
Now Smits getting the good position. Was allowed to set up down low.
And when you get that kind of position and you're 7'4" and have a touch like Rick Smits, everybody's in trouble. But Shaq wisely letting him go on that and not trying to challenge and possibly commit up a foul.
That was an intended pass. Jackson looking at the floor, going all the way. And last touch by Grant. Mark Jackson did not want to go to the penetration. He was checking out the floor, but he saw the opening.
Well, selective running for the Pacers throughout this series. They want to take advantage of some slow transition, but they do not want to get in the up and down game against Orlando.
McKee passed down the 3. Behind the back for Davis, who pops it out. Jackson, the 3. Indiana with a 5-0 lead. And Mark Jackson has been hitting the 3, although he did not hit the one at the end of the game the other day. The ball back to the Pacers on that misfired pass for Nick Anderson. Jackson 2 of 3 from downtown in Orlando on Wednesday. A minute and a half gone by. The Houston Rockets waiting in the wings. Indiana hoping to tie the series, sending it to a 7th game in Orlando on Sunday. The Magic trying to wrap it up here tonight. McKee for 3. Anderson with the rebound. And Indiana able to get back on the transition.
Crowd definitely having an effect on the Magic so far. They seem unable to get into any kind of smooth offense at this point.
There's a 3-point attempt by Scott. Dennis Scott, for the last couple of games, has struggled from downtown. As a result, he's been out here extra early, taking practice from long range. But he hammered down that 3. The Pacers 5, the Magic 3. Scott in the series, 21 of 52 from 3-point land. Davis with the rebound, had it slapped away. O'Neal had it knocked out of bounds by Jackson, but Mark pointing to the outside official, Dan Crawford, who apparently saw it the other way, and they make a change on that call. It will be Indiana in possession.
All set up by that strong offensive rebound by Dale Davis, who was ineffective in Game 5. And here a lazy lob pass on the out-of-bounds play and the steal.
Hardaway with the head fake. Jackson able to stay with him. Hardaway with a nice pass for O'Neal. And the game tied at 5.
Well, Rick Smits got all turned around that time. Didn't know where Shaq was. He saw the ball, but a perfect pass. And Rick Smits wisely not trying to challenge there and giving up the shot.
And an offensive foul call. Pushing foul away from the ball on Miller.
Well, Rick Smits keeping his eye on the ball, and as he looked up way too late as the pass over his outstretched arm, and that's where Rick Smits picked up an early foul in Game 5 by trying to challenge that type of shot. If you don't get Shaq early, you're not going to get him. It would be a 3-point play opportunity.
Hardaway with the opening for the 3. And now the rebound is handled by Dale Davis. Anthony Hardaway has been hitting the 3 in this series. Miller. And rebounded by Grant. Game tied at 5. We're in the early moments. Scott for 3. And Smits playing that high rebound. McKee behind the back for Dale Davis. It was blocked. Larry Brown wanted a foul. Miller fires. 3-pointer for Reggie Miller. The Pacers 8. The Magic 5.
Well, that last 3-pointer by Reggie didn't look good, and obviously obviously didn't feel good, but the next one is like getting back on the horse again. He's just going to keep shooting.
O'Neal with the step. And again, Smith saw he was beaten and stepped away. Did not want to pick up a cheap foul.
Well, Shaq is so active in and around the lane that he's just beating Rick Smith with his quickness. But the smart thing that Smith is doing is not fouling.
McKee. Oh! Smith's on the rebound. Second field goal for Smiths. Indiana leads 10-7. Hardaway for three. Miller to the ball. This crowd has been screaming right from the opening tip. 3.5 gone by in the first. Nice move by Dale Davis, but could not convert.
Dale Davis is getting a lot of good scoring opportunities. He's just rushing things. I think he's concerned. I think the shoulder's bothering him some. He's not complaining about it, but it must be hurting.
Anderson. Rebound Grant. And a foul. McKee looking to knock the ball away from Grant and the foul call.
Well, Dale Davis not wanting to put it up on the close side, trying to take it to the other side. I think trying to protect that shoulder and not lost loose ball winds up right into the hands of Reggie Miller to nail his first three.
He has dislocated the right shoulder 3 times this season. Nick Anderson with a three-pointer. Anderson, 8 of 11, 19 points in Game 5 in Orlando. Had not been forcing the issue, looked to be more offensive-minded. On Wednesday night, Smiths, played by Grant, goes to the jump hook. Good play by Hardaway to keep it alive for Anderson. Scott for three. Crowd looking for a travel as Scott set up. Game tied at 10. Jackson on the run. There's an open three for Miller. Reggie Miller with a second from downtown. Pacers lead by 3.
Is anybody going to take another shot besides a three?
Shaquille O'Neal. 3-on-2 for the Pacers. Miller. Indiana leads by 5 with 6 minutes remaining in this first quarter.
I don't know if Larry Brown wanted all of these fast break opportunities this early in the game for the Pacers or all the three-point shots. But he's got to take it right now because his team is playing with a lot of enthusiasm.
Oh, good play by Miller coming over on the double. O'Neal able to recover. Shot clock at 2. Down to 1. Scott just did beat the 24. Pacers 15. The Magic 12. Miller for 3. Yes. Indiana 18. Orlando 12.
It's like two heavyweight fighters just laying haymaker after haymaker. Both teams taking it to one another.
Grant met by the double, able to whip by Jackson. The tip by Grant. Horace Grant getting a piece of it to bring the Magic within 4.
Terrific play by Horace Grant. He knew he had to flip it high over the 7'4" Rick Smith. He knew he probably wasn't going to make it, so he stayed with it, kept his eye on the ball all the way for the tip-in. Fast break opportunities coming to the Indiana Pacers, and they're taking him. Reggie knew there might be a little contact there, able to avoid it, as was Nick Anderson, and taking it to the other side. And then another fast break chance. Reggie pulling up behind the line.
5 minutes left in the first. Pacers lead by 4. You are watching the NBA on NBC. It has been a furious pace tonight here at Market Square Arena. Tonight we have double coverage on the sidelines. Ahmad Rashad and Jim Gray with reports. Let's start with Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Marv. I was talking to Michael Jordan the other day about this Orlando Magic team. He said the thing that impressed him most was the fact that they have developed a killer attitude. And, in fact, learning how to shut out a series. I asked Dennis Scott about that. He said all season everybody has talked about what we can't do. We're too young. We have no experience. But they haven't talked about how much talent we have. We believe we have enough talent to win the NBA championship. We also realize that it starts right here, right now. Jim?
All right, thanks, Ahmad. The Indiana game plan for tonight is for Rick Smits to be much more aggressive, and so far he has. The Pacers know that he is going to get into foul trouble. They're aware of that, but they want him to take good, hard fouls. Now, as for Larry Brown, he told his team that they must play 48 minutes like it's the last game that they will play all season long. His parting words to his team were, "Hey, guys, I love Orlando so much. I love that city. I want to take you all back there on Sunday." Marv?
Yeah. Thanks, Jim. We saw Dale Davis extend to the 2014 lead for Indiana. Oh, good play by Hardaway, showing the quick hands on the steal. Hardaway for Scott, and Jackson able to come back to deflect it, to break it up. Both teams have combined for 30 shots, and Matt, 12 of them from downtown. Shaquille O'Neal sitting it out here in the early going as Tree Rollins has checked in. He is up front with Horace Branton. And Scott.
This kind of pace early, I think Shaq a little bit winded. That happens from time to time. Out just for a couple of minutes to catch his breath.
Reach-in foul. It's on McKee. That's his second. So the first free throw shooting opportunity. We have not had many whistles. A couple of deflections out of bounds. It has been racehorse from the start. Nick Anderson at the line.
Bob, you mentioned Nick really coming through in the scoring department in Game 5 with 19 points. I think he picked up some of the slack because Dennis Scott was struggling, just 2 for 11, and Dennis was bothered with a little bit of a stomach virus. Didn't want to say too much about it. Is feeling much better today, but that's pretty much what Nick has been doing throughout the playoffs, kind of waiting his turn, biding his time.
Ahmad Rashad checking over at the Orlando bench, confirming what you mentioned. Nothing wrong with Shaquille O'Neal, just a little winded here in the early going. So sitting down as the combination player, assistant coach Tree Rollins has checked in. Wayne Farrell on the floor for the first time for Indiana. That's Miller penetrating. Fast start for Miller. He has scored 13, and the Pacers are up 22-15. Remember, in Game 5 in Orlando, Pacers led by as many as 12, and then they had the disastrous second quarter, only 2 of 17 from the field. Foul was called on Farrell. It's a hand check.
Well, as we said in the beginning of the game, that Reggie had to be very much involved in all phases. Now he's doing a lot of scoring now, but plays like that, taking the ball to the basket where he may get fouled, he may draw a defender, get somebody else a shot, and Reggie also has to chip in the rebounding area. But most important, Reggie has to stay emotionally involved.
Tough pass thrown by Grant. It was handled by Anderson. Sloppy play here by the Magic, and the steal is by Miller. Reggie Miller. A 14-5 run by the Pacers, who are playing in a desperation situation, looking to send it back to Orlando for a 7th and decisive game. They lead by 9. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Shot clock at 3. Scott's shot was blocked by Dale Davis. Reggie Miller hitting the floor was able to remain inbound.
And Reggie is involved, stealing the ball, getting the breakaway layup, switching on defense, getting the rebound.
Jackson facing the double team. Couldn't find the open man. Farrell got the step and is fouled by Rollins. Timeout is being called with 2:38 left in the first. Pacers off to the fast start. It's been a very active start for Reggie Miller. Here's Reggie on the steal. There are some who feel that Reggie is more successful when he gets involved, when he's on edge, when he's making strong statements to motivate himself. We talked about that with Larry Brown.
People say he plays better when he's animated and says things. You know, I don't know, Marv. I think we need him to be more involved. He can't go and get no rebounds and 1 assist and 4 turnovers in a game and expect us to win. He can't go to the free throw line and shoot 2 free throws in a big game and expect us to win. I don't know if his game changes with his personality, because then it would change every 30 seconds. But I just want him to be much more aggressive, and I think he will be.
Well, Larry has to like the personality and the game so far. Reggie 6 for 7 from the field. for 15 points. The concern that Larry Brown might have right now is worrying about his team maybe punching themselves out, maybe with fatigue. But this, in effect, is an elimination game for the Pacers. They can't worry about tomorrow or the next day. They've got to take care of business tonight and leave everything out on that floor.
And Shaquille O'Neal is back on the floor. 2.5 to go in this first quarter. Pacers lead by 11. How about Larry's statement? He changes his personality every 30 seconds. There's Grant with the deep jump hook. Farrell on the rebound. Antonio Davis up front now with Dale Davis, Wayne Farrell, Smith sitting down. Farrell not able to hit. 16-5 run for Indiana following a 10-10 tie. The Magic and the Pacers were even at 10. And Reggie Miller with 15 points has matched the point total of the Orlando Magic. 26-15 the score. Shot clock at 2. Hardaway for 3. Excellent defense by the Pacers. Antonio Davis getting position. Now comes out. Smits and O'Neal have not picked up a foul at this point. And Hardaway handles the back tap with 1.5 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Hardaway getting it to Grant. Scott for the open 3. Yes. Dennis Scott with 8 points. Pacers 26, the Magic 18.
And from time to time, Indiana will try that little trap. It's usually when the Magic cross half court. They've had some success with it, not so much to steal the ball, but just to break up the timing of Orlando, which you don't want to leave Dennis Scott open.
It has been one of those magical quarters for Reggie Miller. He now has 17. That was a 2-pointer for Reggie, who has been on fire. Scott for 3. Good box out. Antonio Davis putting the move on Shaquille O'Neal. Down to 35 seconds in the quarter. Miller foul by Scott. And there's no question Reggie Miller very much into it here at the Star.
And the quick hard move to elude Nick Anderson. And then the step back has everything feeling good out of his hand right now. And Larry Brown was livid on a couple of trips before when Dwayne Farrell took a shot from at the top of the key after one pass. But as hot as Reggie Miller has been, the rest of the Pacers should be looking to set screens for him right now because he wants the ball every time down.
Ryan Shaw has come on for the first time. Grant with the foul. Beautiful fake by Miller to draw it. Three free throws for Miller, who was in downtown territory.
Well, this really wasn't even a screen, but the Magic's so aware of how hot Reggie is and how active he is. Everybody ready to jump out and help and put a hand in his face. Horace Grant over-aggressive in that situation.
Miller with 18 on 7 of 8 shooting. He has hit 3 from downtown. The playoff record for most points by a player in a single quarter held by Eric Sleepy Floyd, who had 29 points in one quarter. Reggie once had 25. He now has 19. 19 of Indiana's 30. 26 seconds remaining in this opening quarter. Marv Albert, Matt Guthis, Ahmad Rashad, Jim Gray from Market Square Arena. It has been the Reggie Miller Show. 31-18 Pacers. Again, the excellent defense being shown by Indiana. Hayward Workman has come on for the first time. Sam Mitchell also on the floor for the first time.
The Pacers have a foul to give here to possibly stop before the Magic get into their shot.
Hardaway going all the way, and what a move. He thought it was foul, but he was looking to pass, and then he saw he had the opening. Final seconds. Mitchell got it off. An explosive first quarter. The Pacers led by Reggie Miller, who has matched the Magic scoring output in this first quarter. Lead by 11. Indiana 31 and Orlando 20. Reggie, 7 of 8 from the field, 20 points. Back with the second in a moment. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
You're watching the 1995 NBA playoffs on NBC.
Reggie Miller with 7 of 8 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line, 3 from downtown, a 20-point first quarter. We mentioned a moment ago the all-time record for most points scored in a quarter in a playoff is held by Sleepy Floyd, who did it back in May of 1987. Warriors against the Lakers, Game 4 of the Western Conference Semi. Sleepy with 29 points in one quarter as the Warriors defeated the Lakers 129-121. Lakers did win the series 4-1. And Sleepy Floyd holds the NBA playoff record, most points in one half, 39 in that same game. Reggie coming into tonight averaging just under 26 points per game, but as we discussed at the start, really has not put his mark on this series. Game 2, he had the 37 points, 21 in the second half, but I know that the Pacers would like to see more from Reggie, particularly in the fourth quarter, although he has hit some big shots. Donald Royal called on that foul. Royal coming on for the first time, and you see Reggie will get a rest here at the start of the second.
And it's not just the scoring, although you'll always take 20 points in a quarter from a player. But as Larry Brown said before, he wants some free throw shooting, he wants some assists, and he wants some rebounds.
Smith's able to save the pass. Smith's back on the floor. Byron Scott has come on for the first time. Shot clock at 10. Good position for Davis. Breaking his way on Jeff Turner, who is playing for the first time. Shaw and Hardaway. Oh, steal by Workman. Taking it from Shaw. Antonio Davis fouled by Brian Shaw.
Just terrific backcourt pressure by Haywood Workman on the handle of Brian Shaw, just hounding him, getting a piece. And then as Brian Shaw falls down, great hustle by Antonio Davis to fill the lane, and Shaw able to prevent the layup and send him to the line. Jim Gray reporting from the Pacers bench that the coaching staff of Indiana very happy that Rick Smits got through his minutes in the first quarter without picking up a personal foul. And now as Reggie Miller gets his first breather, I'm sure the Pacers will punch it into Smits at every opportunity.
Antonio Davis hitting on 1 of 2. Indiana leading by 14. Hardaway played by Workman. Using the screen. Going all the way. And Scott on the ball.
Oh, the Pacers doing a job on the board. They are just the quicker team to every loose ball right now.
Pass from Scott could not be handled. Let's check in with Ahmad over at the Orlando bench. Ahmad?
All right, Marv, doing that quarterback. Brian Hill, very calm, just trying to weather the storm. He told his team that the Pacers are killing him on the fast breaks, and they're losing Reggie Miller in the transition. They need to do a better job defensively in the transition, and also on the offensive end, try to get into their sets. Marv?
The sloppy play by the Magic continues. That pass from Turner not handled by O'Neal.
And it's because the pressure defense of Indiana is much better. And it'll go up and down. It's hard to maintain this kind of effort and this kind of pace for 48 minutes. But so far, Indiana has done it for a quarter and a couple of minutes.
Open shot for Farrell. Wayne Farrell in his 7th season out of Georgia Tech. Spent the previous 6 with Atlanta. Had some solid years with the Hawks. He's been coming off the bench this year with Indiana. Hardaway. And a foul is called on Scott. Byron Scott called for his first. 2 minutes gone by in the second. Indiana with its biggest lead of the night. A margin of 16. Hardaway with a post-up there. And here comes Scott. Orlando getting back. Scott on the pull-up. Rebounded by Royal.
Oh, what a defensive play by Dwayne Farrell, just timing the Hardaway effort perfectly.
O'Neal is fouled, hammered. And let's see what the call will be here. The Magic looking for a flagrant. But will not get the calls.
Hardaway with deep post position on that side out of bounds play. Good feed by Jeff Turner. And Penny had Byron Scott all wrapped up, but Dwayne Farrell coming over to reject. And now Shaq inside getting sandwiched by Antonio Davis and Farrell. A lot of ball, but a lot of body.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Acura, who invites you to test drive the exciting new TL Series. By McDonald's, the official break of the NBA. Have you had your break today? And by Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal about to go to the free throw line, and he and shooting instructor Buzz Raymond with some extensive work earlier this evening, about an hour and a half before game time.
Well, I know Buzz always feels better when Shaq does come out before a game. Shaq is kind of, sometimes he does and sometimes he doesn't, but Buzzy feels that some of the factors, the important fundamentals, and there's only about 2 or 3 that he wants Shaq to be thinking about right now. He feels that that kind of reinforcement is very important that close to game time.
Shaquille O'Neal over the first 5 games, 52% from the line, although he opened strong, rescued the team at 75%. Tonight, at one stretch, he hit 5 in a row. He finished 13 of 21 at the line. I checked that, 9 of 19 at the line.
But both teams are becoming more active on the offensive boards on missed free throws, especially when the Davises are on the line for Indiana, and of course Shaq for Orlando.
It has been an inspired effort by the Pacers. In this first half, they now lead by 17. O'Neal, yes, and it counts. And the foul is called on Antonio Davis.
And Antonio really has the lively legs today. Every time he's been around the basket, he has been thinking, jam it, as a quick, hard move, this time on a nice spin by Shaquille O'Neal, making the basket and a chance to complete the three-point play.
Shaquille gunning for his 10th point. So he's 1 of 3 at the line. Pacers 38. The Magic 23. We're early second quarter. Smits, that was not the shot he was looking for.
Well, he has that range, but he just did not have his feet under him. Didn't feel comfortable taking it, you could tell.
Anderson able to curl in. Nice move. First he beat Smits and then Farrell.
Well, it's obvious what Brian Hill has said in the last huddle. Hey, let's give back to them what they're giving to us. Every opportunity, take the ball hard to the basket. The jumpers just have not been falling.
Pacers with a 38-25 advantage. Jeff Turner in a battle with Antonio Davis, and the foul, a hold called on Turner.
Well, Nick has been a slasher ever since he came into this league. Has become more of a perimeter shooter, but with the 7'4" Smits out on him and standing straight up, Nick's quickness able to beat Rick very easily.
Horace Grant back on the floor for Jeff Turner. Outstanding stint for Antonio Davis. 5 points, 4 rebounds. He's been replaced by Sam Mitchell. Farrell blocked by O'Neal. And back comes Brian Shaw. Brian Shaw, one of the heroes off the bench in Orlando on Wednesday. Donald Royal going for the spin and coming up short.
Well, the Pacers know Donald wants to drive it. They did a good job of shielding him off and making him take the tough shot.
Smits. He was able to get terrific position. 6 points for Rick Smits. Indiana leads by 15.
Well, the Magic want to come down and double Rick Smits, but when you catch it 2 feet from the basket, no double team can get there quickly enough because the Pacers do not have any shooters out on the floor.
You can hear the reaction from the crowd. They were looking for
charge. Rick Smith catches about 2 feet from the basket. Shaquille O'Neal going straight up with the shot. Again, wise not to commit a foul there, and this foul will go against Sam Mitchell as Shaq works to get the inside position, bullying his way to the basket.
Here's the double on Shaquille. And a foul is indicated by Ed Rush. Again, it's on Mitchell.
Well, the aggressiveness of the Orlando Magic now with the idea of getting the ball inside, taking it to the basket here on this attempted feed to Horace Grant. And you see all 4 other players besides Rick Smith in the painted area ready to shut that off because I think they sense that the Magic want to take the ball to the hole every chance.
Indiana now over the foul limit. Shaquille is 1 of 3 at the line. Pacers lead 40-26. Well, in the first quarter, they were firing away from downtown. 16 three-pointers attempted in the first quarter. We have not seen a 3 yet in the second. 14-point Indiana lead as Workman starts back, facing some pressure, able to elude it. And a long rest for Reggie Miller, who had the brilliant start with 20 points in the first quarter. Farrell with the open shot. Five points for Dwayne Farrell, who has come off the bench to do the job. And Indiana doing the job off the board. They've out-rebounded Orlando 20-12. Shot clock at 7. Shaw with the step. Rebounded by Smith. Farrell with Grant back. Nice pass to Scott.
That is textbook fast break. Hit the outlet, get the ball in the middle, 1 pass to the left, and then a perfect bounce back.
O'Neal with the spin. Indiana with the ball. They lead by 18 with 6:20 remaining in this first half. Smith pitches out. Shot clock at 6. And Orlando wants to talk it over.
Akeem and the Rockets did it again, knocking off the Spurs. Can they continue their amazing playoff run and defend their title? Game 1 Wednesday in primetime on NBC.
Well, the Indiana game plan coming into this series was control the tempo, but when you get these kinds of fast break opportunities, you cannot turn them down, and I think that game plan has gone by the board for Game 6. The Pacers look like they are just going to play on instincts right now. Beautiful ball handling, beautiful passing. That might be the kind of basket that Byron Scott needs to get going, the easy lay-in.
And coming up at halftime, Bob Costas and Akeem Olajuwon of the Houston Rockets. Akeem coming off one of the... Looking for a foul, as Shaquille O'Neal is able to come up with his 11th and 12 points. Akeem Olajuwon with one of the brilliant playoff series in the history of the game, particularly when you consider the competition going against David Robinson and the San Antonio Spurs. Smith's pass to save. Scott for 3. Rebounded by Mitchell. And he is fouled by O'Neal for Shaquille, his first. And looking ahead at the Houston Rockets, who are awaiting the winner of this series, and you have to speculate as to the matchup. Should it be Shaquille O'Neal? Well, this is how he has done against Akeem Olajuwon. Akeem with the slight edge in terms of the personal numbers. And this season, the Magic beat the Rockets twice. fouled out of the game against Houston. The only time he fouled out all regular season. And should it be Rick Smits? Well, it's been all Akeem Olajuwon. This year they met twice. They split their 2 meetings. Back on November the 9th, Matt Smits had a 1 of 11, only 3 points against Akeem, who went 15 of 25 for 43 points. Houston win here at Market Square on January 7th. Akeem outscored Smits 27-12.
And Akeem Olajuwon is playing at a level with just about everybody is unfamiliar with right now. He is setting a tone, and it will shape up to be a great series no matter who it is. Lots of double teaming on big people.
Dennis Scott knocking down his third three-pointer. He has 11, 48-31, Indiana. Reggie Miller back on the floor. Smits with the fadeaway. Rick Smits, 4 of 7, 8 points, 19-point margin for the Pacers. Won't count. Whistle before the shot. And the foul is called. It's a push on Smits. That is his first.
Well, Rick Smits has been getting the position he has wanted all night long. That time, 2 feet in paint again. A little shoulder fake to the middle to turn away his little jump shot. And that's the little shove right before Shaq got that ball. But Rick wisely kept his hands up to try to say that, hey, I'm letting him catch, I'm letting him do his thing. But the slot referee, Eddie Rush, on the other side, felt that Smits gave a shove as Shaq caught the ball.
Hill is 3 of 6 at the line. Only 1 foul for Smits here tonight. Only 1 for O'Neal. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Mark Jackson is back on the floor. Jackson and Miller at the guards. Smits up front with McKee and Dale Davis. Miller for 3. The 4th shot. Reggie with 20 points on 7 of 8 shooting in the opening quarter.
Definitely an itchy trigger finger after sitting out for 6 minutes while his teammates outscored the Magic by 9 points.
O'Neal with the jump hook. 15 for Shaquille. The Pacers 50. The Magic 34.
Have been doing the job on both backboard. 9 offensive rebounds now for Indiana as Dale Davis and Smits just digging out the loose ball and getting the finish. And Larry Brown has to like everything about the way his team is playing. Getting it from the starters, getting it from his key guys, Miller and Smits, and getting it from the bench.
3-point play for Smits. The foul on O'Neal, his second. A 53-34 lead. Comes Jackson on the turnover. Miller to the spin. Indiana shooting 55% in this first half. And they have their biggest lead, a margin of 21. In fact, this is the biggest lead of this series, which has been very close. 20 seconds. Timeout has been called. 3:15 left. First half. And the Pacers are up by 21.
Well, it's amazing how Reggie Miller, after he takes a bad shot, which he did, he forced one on the play before, he does not get shy. He does not get bashful. He is going to keep trying to score every time he gets a chance.
Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll be joined live by Akeem Olajuwon. He's coming off the remarkable series against San Antonio, in which the Rockets eliminated the Spurs in 6, and Akeem pretty much established himself as the best player in the league. Plus, we'll hear from Julius Erving and Peter Vesey on tonight's lopsided affair at Market Square. The Pacers lead it by 21. Back to Indiana. Marv, Matt, Ahmad, and Jim. What a cast.
All right, Bob, a 21-point lead. for the Indiana Pacers. Most unusual to see this kind of lead. It's the largest by either team in this series. In the 5 games of this series, neither the Pacers nor the Magic has won a game by more than 5 points, and 3 of those games decided in the final minute. So this is most unusual.
Both Rick Smits and Antonio Davis have a personal foul each. Kind of a precautionary measure by Larry Brown. Has Greg Kite in there, who if Shaq gets something going around the basket, I'm sure Greg, if he can't stop the play, will hack.
As you know firsthand, Greg Kite, man who started for you at center when you were coaching the Orlando Magic. And Greg using his share of fouls in Game 5 in Orlando. That was deflected out by Dale Davis. And for more on the Greg Kite saga, let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, thanks, Marv. Greg Kite has 8 adopted children. 3 of them got to go with the team back to Orlando on the last trip. And Larry Brown got a very interesting letter from the 3 kids that went on the trip. And the bottom of the letter, it says, please put my dad in the next game. Well, now he's played 2 games in a row.
Break to extend to a 23-point lead. This Greg Kite getting 9 minutes the other night. Anderson on the reverse as we come up on 2 minutes remaining first half.
Nice pitch out by Shaquille O'Neal to Nick Anderson, who has been thinking attack the rim every time he gets the ball.
8 points for Anderson. Shaquille O'Neal leading Orlando with 15. Dennis Scott has 11. And McKee fouled by Grant for Horace, his second.
Well, the transition of Orlando has been very sluggish throughout this first half. And here again, Dennis Scott had his back turned. Penny Hardaway was concerned with Reggie Miller. And Horace Grant was just whipped by Mark Jackson to the basket.
Derek McKee with his first point. Derek McKee, urged on by Larry Brown, attempting to get more involved offensively, and did the other night. 7 of 16, 21 points, 16 shots, a very high number for a player like McKee.
Shooting excellent free throws, 21 for 23, got in early foul trouble in this one. Again, back on the floor making a contribution.
Hardaway pass, broken up by McKee, beautiful play by McKee. Jackson pushing it down, ball fakes, gets it to Miller, for 3, yes. Into it. Reggie Miller with 25 points, and the Pacers with a 62-36 first half blowout of the Magic. Scott with the hesitation. Dennis Scott. And then, was he slapping palms with Greg Kite? Former teammates in Orlando. Timeout is taken by the Pacers.
The aggressive defense by Indiana, and this is what they are capable of. Now, nobody is capable of doing this for 48 minutes or even 48 games. This is incredible defense that we have seen against a very good basketball team. And what they're doing as a result of that defense is looking to run, take their fast break opportunities, and take advantage of the perimeter shooting of Reggie Miller, who has finally found somebody to point at. It's been a few games now, ever since they left New York.
Is he pointing in your direction, Matt?
No, somebody in that deep corner. I have no idea, and I doubt if Reggie does. He just wants a point. It makes him feel good.
Well, our investigative reporter, Ahmad Rashad, is always on the scene. And for more of that, let's go to the Dean.
Thank you, Marv. Now, Reggie is pointing at someone, and he's pointing at his lovely wife, Marita, who's sitting over in the corner. Every time he hits that shot, he points at her. It's a nice point, not like the one he was pointing at Spike Lee. Marv?
Oh, that clears it up. Thank you. An acknowledgement, although at one stretch I thought he was perhaps upset with Marita. Reggie Miller again. 28 points for Reggie. 65-38 Indiana. And Reggie Miller 5 of 7 from downtown. Horace Grant, rebound, Mark Jackson. Half-minute left in this first half. Al Davis trying to keep it alive. Here comes Anderson on the 3-on-2. Anderson to the spin. Pacers 65. The Magic 40. 20 seconds left in the half. The crowd here at Market Square Arena has been standing and cheering right throughout. It's been an amazing pace from the start of this game. Final seconds of the half. Jackson rejected. Shaquille O'Neal able to slap it away with 4 3/10 seconds remaining.
Shaq with 2 fouls. Brian Hill not even really concerned about it right now. He just wants his team out there playing hard, keeping their heads into the game.
Stay with us. Bob Costas coming up with the Prudential halftime report. And he'll be talking with Hakeem Olajuwon of the Houston Rockets coming off the sensational series and a victory over the San Antonio Spurs. A nice inbound. Scott unable to hit the layup. Mitchell. And that is the end of the first half. Reggie Miller, 10 of 12 from the field. 5 of 7 from downtown, 28 points to lead the Pacers. They are up by 25. Now, stay tuned for Bob of the Prudential halftime report after these words.
This is the Prudential halftime report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Orlando was able to close out Boston on the road. They did the same thing to Chicago. But here in Game 6 at Market Square, the door has been slammed in their faces. 65-40. Reggie Miller with 28 points, 10 of 12 from the floor, 5 of 7 on threes, 20 of those points in a first-quarter outburst as they establish control, and they lead by 25. Julius Erving and Peter Vesey join me. We might have expected them to get even. We couldn't have expected this.
Well, what do you say, Bob? You know, this is one of those situations where we're seeing the type of game that we haven't seen in the first 5 games. We see a team that has come out to play with reckless abandon. You know, they've decided to take the risk tonight. They decided to push the ball and shoot it and not really care about what happens. It has triggered some type of effect on this team that's allowed everybody to be involved offensively and defensively and for them to play just a dominant game. I think they're inspired by the Rockets' victory over San Antonio because, as you know, in that series, the Rockets were the underdogs, just as the Pacers are the underdogs in this one.
You might say that the Pacers came out like a steamroller named Desire. I mean, here Reggie Miller gets 20 points in the first quarter, and we're all saying in the green room, hey, get somebody else involved, Reggie. Then the bench gets involved, outscores the Magic 17-0. 10 Pacers have scored, 4 Magic players have scored. Hardaway, 1 for 7, did not get involved early. A residual effect for the next game? I found out before Game 5 the Magic were petrified. Horace Grant was telling everybody that the team was uptight, so you might look for that to carry over, although they did win Game 5.
Again, if somehow you just flip the clicker, that's right. Indiana 65, Orlando 40 at the half. Let's turn to action from the French Open earlier today. Among the men's winners was Andre Agassi, who hasn't lost a set in his first 3 matches. Thomas Muster of Austria and Jim Courier also won in straight sets. On the women's side, Steffi Graf, Conchita Martinez, and Gabriela Sabatini won in straight sets. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll show you the matches of Boris Becker as well as Michael Chang, and we'll have 14-year-old Martina Hingis of Switzerland, one of the bright young stars, going against the highest-seeded American woman, Lindsay Davenport. Back to basketball now. Hakeem Olajuwon has clearly been the best player thus far in these NBA playoffs. He has befuddled Utah, Phoenix, and San Antonio with his brilliant assortment of shots and moves. Take a look. And there is the dream, and we'll talk live with him right after a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA. Sit tight, Mr. Olajuwon. Welcome back. The Houston Rockets are champions of the Western Conference and defending champions of the NBA, thanks in no small part to Hakeem Olajuwon. Off his regular season performance, Olajuwon, though, finished just 5th in the league MVP balloting.
Should there be another MVP vote? Yeah. What do you think? No. Of course I think so.
Well, he was the league and playoff MVP last year, and now he's headed for the finals again. Last night, Hakeem marked the 14th game that your team had played in 28 days. So finishing it off in 6 really helped, and it doesn't hurt that this one is almost certain now to go to 7. You pick up 6 days rest before the finals begin on Wednesday.
This is wonderful. Today, for example, no practice. I didn't know what to do. I was so excited just to be free for once.
Tell us about your assortment of moves. Few, if any, big men have played with the kind of subtlety and finesse that you show. The dream shake, the baseline fadeaway, the drop step. How did you develop it all?
Well, early in my career, I was playing more on the post. Then later on, I found out that the post game is restricted and kind of boring. I like to be more creative. So I started to watch the small forwards and the guards, and from there I developed some of my moves.
You said that when you saw David Robinson receive the league MVP trophy, and no one begrudges him that for this season. He's a great player, he had a great year, but you were the defending MVP, and you saw him receive it. We're looking at it right now as he gets it from David Stern. You said that that really didn't motivate you, but were you just being diplomatic? I would have to think that would give anybody a little bit of a boost to say, wait a minute, I was the MVP and I could be again.
No, I mean, in this league, you have 4 or 5 players that can say the same thing. Shaquille O'Neal, Karl Malone, they have a great season also. So that wasn't the motivation. The motivation is for me to play my best, to be on top of my game, so we can defend our title.
How did you happen to outplay David Robinson by such a large margin? I mean, you've had good games against him in the past, but it's been closer to a standoff in the regular season this year and in prior seasons, but you dominated in this time. How come?
I think it was luck.
No, it wasn't.
It was luck. I just, focus, stay on top of my game, and try to just play my game and make it fun. My motivation was just to compete and do the best that I can. And I have to give him a lot of credit because he contained me of every shot and made me work for every shot that I took.
Well, that brings me to the next question. I mentioned 14 games in 28 days. You play against a terrifically athletic player like David Robinson. He contests every shot. We see how hard you work. You played a lot of minutes, shaking, moving, dipping the shoulder, the whole repertoire. Do you worry that you'll have enough to go against either Smits or the very physical Shaq in the next round?
That's why I'm so happy we have 6 days to worry about them.
What about your desire to play on the American squad in the Olympic Games? You're now a naturalized American citizen. FIBA, the governing body of international basketball, says the way has been cleared, all the other technicalities taken care of. You could be a member of the next edition of the Dream Team in '96.
I think that would crown my career, and it would be an honor for me to wear U.S. uniform to play in the Olympics. I'll be honored.
One last question very quickly. You trailed Utah 2-1. You trailed Phoenix 3-1 and went to overtime in Game 5 on their court. Then after winning the next 2 games, you trailed by 15 in Game 7. Was there any point during this whole process where you and the team felt, yeah, it may end now, we're defeated?
Yes, but you can see that was when the team came together, that it's time for us to make our move now.
When was it? What was that turning point?
In Utah, Game 5 in Utah, we were down 13 points going towards the 4th quarter. And we said, we have to make our move right now. And everybody stay positive. They were confident, and you can see it in everybody's eyes, like, let's do it. And from there, we didn't know what happened. We were very lucky that the momentum shifted in our way. I didn't even understand I didn't know how we won that series. I was just so happy that we won it.
Well, you've won 3 of them now, and thus we'll see you in the finals starting on Wednesday in either Orlando or Indiana. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Akeem Olajuwon. Obviously, barring the miracle of all miracles for Orlando, a Game 7 will be necessary between the Pacers and the Magic. It'll be played on Sunday night in Orlando. Game time just after 7 o'clock Eastern. And then on Wednesday, the NBA Finals get underway with the defending champion Rockets against either the Pacers or the Magic. Tip-off shortly after 9 Eastern time for that. Halftime now in Indiana. The Pacers lead the Magic by 25. We'll send it back to Market Square for the second half after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock. You're watching the 1995 NBA Playoffs on NBC.
Welcome back to Market Square Arena, Indianapolis. Marv Albert with Matt Guokas. 25-point lead for the Indiana Pacers over the Orlando Magic, and a Pacer team that has been propelled by the play of Reggie Miller.
I don't think there was any question, Marv, that the Pacers would come out and compete in a must-win situation like this, but I don't think anybody could have imagined, including Larry Brown himself, that his team would play this well. They have shown why they are one of the best defensive teams in the league, and they have turned it to the offensive end very nicely.
Let's take a look at the Miller Lite halftime statistics. Indiana shooting exceptionally well in the first half. The Magic only 43%. Pacers 24-47 for 51%. Shaquille O'Neal 15 points on 6 of 9 shooting, only 2 fouls. Rick Smits has only 1 foul. 3-point land the story. In fact, the two teams combined for 16 from downtown in the first quarter, only 7 in the second. Pacers 6 of 12 overall, led by Reggie Miller, 5 of 7 from downtown, and a 28-point explosion in the first half. Let's check in with Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Marvin, talking to some of the Orlando Magic players, Brian Hill telling his team that too many fast break points they gave up, not enough offensive rebounds, and also the thing he really harped on is that they are not competing. They're not matching the intensity of the Indiana Pacers. In order to get back in this game, they got to come out and compete in the second half. Jim?
All right, thanks, Marv. Thanks, Ahmad, not Marv. Perfect half, Larry Brown said. No changes, no adjustments, doesn't want to do anything differently. Just told his team, hey, guys, let's start all over. Play it like it's 0-0. Larry Brown went on to say, I'm very superstitious. I just hope nothing changes between now and midnight Sunday. Marv?
All right, Jim, the Pacers 65 and the Magic 40. We'll be back with the second half in a moment. Indiana has led by as many as 27, the largest halftime deficit that a team has been able to overcome to win a playoff game back in 1948. Baltimore Bullets at the Philadelphia Warriors, a 21-point deficit. Matt, did you play for that Warrior club in 48? Oh, you were on the Philadelphia Spurs.
No, but I attended that game.
I see. It's a 25-point lead as this third quarter gets underway.
But you get the feeling no lead is a safe one with these two teams playing. That's why the first 5 games have been so close, and the reason being the 3-point capability. But I think the Magic have had in the back of their minds that they still have not had that urgency situation. They know they have the home court advantage. They know they have that 7th game possibly waiting back in Orlando, and it's hard to get that out of your mind. Of course, the Pacers, they're not worried about that. All they're worried about is closing this one out. So I think Orlando is thinking, let's take a couple of runs. Let's give ourselves a chance to maybe get back in this one. But then Brian Hill has to be starting to think somewhere down the line, if they don't close the gap, maybe to start resting people.
Well, Dale Davis missed on 4 and was able to get to the back tap. Last touch by the Magic. Larry Brown opening with Rick Smits, Dale Davis, Derek McKee up front, Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller at the guard. New 24 for the Pacers. McKee gives it back. McKee off the head fake. Smits. Pacers the Magic 40.
Well, for a while there, it looked like nobody wanted to get involved offensively, but that's what Rick Smits has done so well the last couple of years, is find that little spot on the floor when things do break down, and he's generally wide open at 17 feet.
And Shaquille with 17 points, but very quiet games for Horace Grant. 0 for 4 from the field, has not scored, and Anthony Hardaway has played so well during the playoffs. Just 1 for 7 in the first half. Smits again. Pacers with a 69-42 lead.
Well, besides the good defense by the Pacers starting out in this ballgame, the Magic came out with the idea, let's run, let's force the tempo, let's take a lot of three-point shots. And that helped put them in the hole because Indiana took advantage of those misses.
Nick Anderson with 12 points. Indiana leading by 25. The Magic up 3 games to 2. They were hoping to wrap it tonight to avoid a Game 7 back home on Sunday. 2 minutes in, third quarter. Miller with 28 points in the first half. And the Pacers with a good ball movement, looking for the better shots and finding them. Dale Davis with a second field goal.
That ball moved so quickly that I don't think Dale Davis had to even think about his shoulder that time. He just caught it and let it go. But so far his offense has not been much, but he's still doing the job defensively and on the boards.
Reaching foul on the Pacers. It's called on Miller, his second.
Indiana has been walking the ball up, no fast break opportunities, and the ball has been moving fairly well, but when you move it that quickly from one side to the other, there will be open shots.
Anderson played down a 2. He went for the crossover. Jackson had 5 assists in the first half. Miller off the screen. Dale Davis. Smits and Davis right there. Smits getting credit. He has 17.
Well, looked like running back on defense at that time. Dale Davis' shoulder is bothering him a little bit. He really had to reach high with his right arm on 2 plays right there. And it looks like it's hanging low on him and bothering him.
Dale Davis. And that does not help the right shoulder. And it's called a jump ball.
Well, this is what Dale Davis does best, is keep his eye on the ball and follow to the glass. Never really got a good hand on the first one, but had the quick hop to finish off the play there. One more look at it from behind the basket. As the crowd reacting to this call by the official.
Well, apparently they've changed their mind. It was originally called a jump ball, and then Danny Crawford, feeling he had the better view, said no, last touch by Indiana. So it is Orlando back in possession. And a Scott for 3. And back comes Jackson, side on it to Miller. And he's fouled. Foul on Hardaway. Anthony Hardaway has not been able to get into it.
I think that reason was, Marv, that he came out. He's been thinking three-point shot the last 3 games and a lot of perimeter jump shots. Of course, Hardaway has so many different ways to score. Not only the perimeter shot, excellent post-up player, and of course he can put it on the floor and spin on anybody.
And Petty 0 for 4 from downtown. He's had the hot hand from three-point range in this series. Smits. Smits on the run. Has come out here in the third quarter and has outplayed Shaquille O'Neal. Now Shaquille on the spin is fouled. Dale Davis over to help out on the double team, and he is called for the foul.
Well, nothing going on this particular possession, so Rick Smits just puts it on the floor and somehow or other gets himself in the lane, able to maintain his balance and finish off the shot with the excellent touch.
17 for Smits, 6 of the 17. Here are the early moments of the third. And O'Neal is now 4 of 8 at the line. He has 18 points. This is an Indiana Pacer team that went 52-30 in the regular season, won the Central Division, finished 3rd overall in the Eastern Conference. In the first round of the playoffs, they swept Atlanta in 3. In the Eastern Conference semifinals, beat the Knicks in 7 in a very emotional series. Miller hitting the 30 mark. And this has been a very dramatic series. With Indiana hoping to tie it. They have the huge lead. They broke it open late in the first quarter. And Orlando showing no signs of breaking out. Smith. Orlando taking timeout.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles. By Doritos Tortilla Chips. Doritos flavor the way you look at life. And by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Coming off an excellent series against Chicago, his former club, it has not been the same for Horace Grant against Indiana. Not able to get into it thus far tonight, 0 for 4. You see the difference, averaging 18 a game in the second round against the Bulls and quiet here against the Pacers. We talked about that with Horace.
In Chicago series, you had a stubborn guy in Phil Jackson who left me open. But Larry Brown said from the beginning of the series that he's not going to leave me open. And I guess he's a man of his words because I'm not getting any open looks whenever I receive the ball as a guy rotating to me. And, you have to give him credit for not allowing me to have open shots.
And the reason Phil Jackson left him open was because Scottie Pippen had the primary responsibility of guarding Horace, and he was the guy going down to double team on Shaq, and that left Horace wide open at the top of the key.
And Horace Grant now 0 for 5 from the field. Pacers lead 79-46. 5 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Dale Davis trying to post up. And Rick Smith fouled by Nick Anderson.
Well, Horace Grant can still do damage on the offensive glass. Here he kind of goes over the top of 2 players. Going to get a pass back here for the jump shot. As he is frustrated that he is not. The Magic are not going to run any plays for Horace Grant. Any kind of shots and scoring he gets are going to be opportunity-type baskets where he is open against the double team, or he's cutting to the basket off a double team, or getting offensive rebounds.
20 points for Spence. So Rick Smith has given Indiana an 81-46 lead. Biggest lead of the game, a margin of 35. Dennis Scott, the largest margin of victory in playoff competition in the NBA, a 58-point differential. Back in 1956, the Minneapolis Lakers knocking off the St. Louis Hawks 133-75. Smith. And the rebound collared by Grant. Halfway through the third quarter. Miller got a piece of it. Grant through the foul. It counts. And Horace Grant with his first field goal of the night. The foul called on Rick Smith, his second.
Well, the ball swinging around the perimeter and then into Horace Grant. Knew he was in trouble with Rick Smith just hanging in the air, trying to draw contact by extending his arms, which he was able to do. And Rick Smith has been very careful throughout this game not to pick up any careless fouls by reaching in. He thought he was going straight up there, but give Horace Grant credit for initiating the contact.
Here's pressure by the Magic on the inbounds. It is now a 30-point lead for Indiana and a foul called on Hardaway. This is second personal. And Brian Shaw returning, replacing Anthony Hardaway. Nick Anderson will sit down. Anthony Bowie checks in for the first time.
Brian Hill looking for some energy in the backcourt now because he knows that the only way they can put any kind of dent into this lead is with some pressure on the ball, force turnovers, force tough shots, and get out and get some fast breaks themselves.
Jackson got the strike. Indiana leading 83-51. Mark Jackson with 8 assists. And Shaquille fouled, so he'll head back to the line.
Well, ever since Game 3, Mark Jackson has really had his all-around game under control, seeing the floor. 3.5 to 1 assist turnover ratio, keeping his head up, knowing where everybody is. Dale Davis hopping to the open area as his shoulder's starting, I'm sure, to feel a little bit better.
Shaquille O'Neal now 6 of 10 at the line. Yes, Mark Jackson last Saturday in Game 3 collected 13 assists, an Indiana Pacer playoff record. He had 11 Wednesday in Orlando. And thus far today, he's chalked up 8. 31-point bulge for the Pacers with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. And a hand check called on Shaw. What a game for Brian Shaw the other night. Shaw came off the bench, provided a spark. Game 4, he'd hit 2 key three-pointers. Game 5, 21 minutes, 15 points, 3 from downtown. Remember, Brian Shaw set that NBA record for three-pointers in a game with 10. That was 2 years ago on the Miami Heat, but shot only 26% from downtown this regular season.
Well, you saw that was a hand check out about 30 feet away from the basket, and the officials have continued to call that through the regular season and through this playoff season as well. And it's one of the reasons why I think the Pacers are taking advantage of it tonight. They know that the referees are going to call hand checking, and that's why they are forcing the action, driving to the basket as much as possible.
Anthony Bowie on the drive. Handled by Dale Davis, his 9th rebound. Dale Davis has come up very big after a quiet performance Wednesday.
A 39-22 rebound edge for the Indiana Pacers. That tells a large part of this story.
Another cut off by O'Neal. Pacers looking for a foul. McKee with the shot clock running down was fouled. And Scott called for his second. It puts the Magic over the limit. So 2 shots for Derek McKee.
Dribble penetration again with the shot clock winding down, and Derek McKee has done it very well. This is his poorest scoring game in this series as he has been going head up against Horace Grant, one of the best defensive players in the league, and Derek McKee putting up very solid numbers. But I think Reggie Miller realized in Game 3 of the New York series how he had to play to do well in that against the kind of New York type defense, and that is put the pressure on them by putting the ball on the floor and attacking the rim, and it's now carrying over to this game.
86-52 the score. O'Neal eluding Smits. Miller came up from the backside looking for the steal, but unable to get there. 4 minutes remaining in the third.
Once again, little seam, find it, put the ball on the floor, take the bump, do the right thing, and then you will get breaks like that. As Mark Jackson feeling it, he had predicted that they would go back, they being the Indiana Pacers, go back to Orlando for a Game 7. That prediction looks very, very strong.
Yes, but you wonder about the predictions when someone is asked, and you see it happen all around the NBA, do you think you will win to keep the series alive? No one's going to say no. Bowie on the crossover for Grant. Horace Grant converting. It is only his second field goal. Pacers 89 and the Magic 56.
But most players don't answer.
That's true also. Scott had it deflected away. Last touch by the Pacers. And a timeout is being called. 3:25 to go. Third quarter. Standing ovation here at Market Square Arena with the Pacers leading 89-56. You are watching the NBA on NBC. A reminder, tomorrow, NBC Sports will begin its coverage of the French Open presented by Perrier at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Mary Pierce, who was a finalist at the French Open last year, plus Americans Michael Chang and Boris Becker, all in action tomorrow. And on Sunday, Andre Agassi, the world's #1 player, is on the slate. Grand Slam tennis right here on NBC. The French Open coverage beginning tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 noon Pacific, and continues Sunday starting at 1 in the East.
Shaquille O'Neal has played 30 minutes already in this ballgame. Coming out right now as Brian Hill has gone with a very small team, seeing if he can create some havoc defensively. And there's a competitor in coaches and teams that even if you're down 30, even if you're down 40, you still keep thinking when you look up at that clock, there's time. Let's just cut off. Let's get 3 scores in a row. Let's get ourselves back into it. Right now, the Magic.
By McKee. Derek McKee on the inbounds with the shot clock running down. It's only his first field goal. Just under 3 minutes to go. In the first, Ryan Shaw. Dennis Scott. Anthony Bowie fires. A 3 for Bowie. That's his first field goal. 91-59. It has been a romp for the Pacers. Sam Mitchell, Antonio Davis, and Derek McKee. Now up front, Rick Spence sitting down. Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller in the backcourt. Backdoor pass.
And the Magic weak side defense got caught with their heads turned. Not used to being out on the floor so much without Shaquille O'Neal, who usually has that basket covered.
Miller with 32. Shaw. Miller with his 5th. The Pacers keep coming. We're down to 2 minutes to go. Third quarter. Miller has trouble with Shaw, then able to recapture it. Finding Jackson. And Grant with the rebound. Bowie had it slapped away. And he's touched it last.
On this underneath out-of-bounds play, Donald Royal holding on to Derek McKee, but had his back turned and just threw it up there, and 6'11", Derek McKee able to slap it in.
Indiana with a 93-59 lead. Byron Scott is back. He's come on for Reggie Miller. Sent down with 32 points. His career high in the playoffs, 39. The memorable Game 5 against the Knicks last season of the Eastern Conference Finals. 3 on the shot clock. And Scott will toss in. Miller. Kept it out by Jackson. Well, Reggie obviously still on the floor. Robert Brown is down with a 3-guard alignment. Miller going left and lost it. Hardaway. For Shaw. Indiana not allowed. Royal. And Miller able to hustle it down with 35 seconds to go in the third. And a holding foul. Antonio Davis breaking for the basket was held by Donald Royal.
Well, it's obvious both coaches telling their teams during those timeouts, keep the pressure defense up. Don't worry about the score. Let's just get into the habit because it's all going to have to happen again come Sunday evening. So right right now we're seeing that pressure defense, but we're also seeing players who have that ability to put the ball on the floor and go by it, and only Antonio Davis in there to possibly swat a shot away as a big defender.
Antonio, 1 of 2 at the line. Now Reggie Miller does sit down with 32 points. He had 28 at halftime. And Mark Jackson receiving a standing ovation. 9 points, 9 assists, but what the crowd has appreciated has been the floor leadership of Mark Jackson.
And the Magic have clearly lost their concentration right now, just not doing the basic things, giving up second shots, not checking out, not being aware of a missed free throw. I thought they felt there was probably going to be another free throw after that. They all stood flat-footed.
Mitchell, offensive foul. A pushing foul charged to Sam Mitchell.
Brian Shaw stood in there and tried to hold his ground and then just snapped his head back. Whether he got hit or not, I don't know, but he certainly convinced the referee that he did.
Well, this third quarter coming to a close. Hardaway doing it off the dribble for 3. Anthony Hardaway with only his second field goal of the night. So after 3, the Pacers lead by 32. A most impressive stat line for Reggie Miller. Indiana 94, Orlando 62 as we head to the 4th. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Well, Reggie Miller has done it all here tonight at Market Square, so why not? Now his family is even helping out with the telecast. That's Reggie's wife, Marita, who I'm told by Ahmad Rashad was the inspirational target with Reggie on fire in the first quarter with 20 of his points and acknowledging Marita.
Well, it's hard for Reggie to find anybody in Indiana that he could stare or joust with in an angry way, which we have seen before. And we pointed out how that might be important for him to get that edge, to be feisty, to get that kind of extra motivational purpose. So he found his wife.
And Marita's so camera shy, too. Fourth quarter is underway. Marv Albert, Matt Dukas, Ahmad Rashad, and Jim Gray will account. Shaquille O'Neal back on the floor. And the foul is called, but the only question was it before the shot. And apparently it was, so the basket will not count. Check him with Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Marv. Reggie Miller's on the bench right now. He jumped out on the floor, cut both of his knees. Both knees are bleeding. David Craig trying to patch him up. He is available to return, but Reggie says he's not sure if he will come back tonight. Marv?
All right, Jim. Antonio Davis was called for that foul on Shaquille O'Neal. Hardaway hit a 3 a moment ago, does it again. Very rare that we've seen Orlando have anyone hit successive shots. Hardaway with a couple from downtown. The Pacers now lead 94-65.
The Pacers have changed their little defensive philosophy on Shaq as far as when the ball goes inside, if it's not pushed off the lane, they won't come and double the first one because Shaq is habitually throwing the ball back out, and then when it comes in the second time, that's when the double team is coming, but Shaq's reading, finding the open man.
Nice pass. O'Neal set up by Bowie following the jumper by Byron Scott. Pacers 96 in the Magic, 67. Unless there is a miraculous turn here in the fourth quarter, there will be a 7th and final game Sunday night in Orlando. Nice move by Mitchell. 98-67 the score. O'Neal off the fake. And he took the push. Beautiful hit fake by Shaquille. And that was shoved by Antonio Davis.
And Anthony Bowie throws this pass very well. And all of this begs the question is, what in the world is Shaq doing on the floor in a 30-point game in which the Magic are down But knowing Shaq and having coached him before, Shaq wants to play. He's not really concerned about the score right now. He wants to be out there. He wants to compete. He wants to try to send a message for the Pacers as if he can for Game 7. But I don't think he's going to be out there too much longer.
Would you be concerned about injury?
Yes, definitely. You don't want to take a chance. The stakes are too high at this point in the season. But I think the Magic for the next few minutes will take their run, try to get it down to under 20 if possible, and then Shaq will sit down.
That's when the judgment will be made. In effect, they'll see if they can make a desperation run, and if it's not working, we'll see Shaquille head back to the mat. Hardaway on foul is third. Rick Smits is back. Antonio Davis departing.
And you don't want to get beat by 50 either.
Orlando has lost 3 times by 20-plus this season. Bad pass picked off by Hardaway. Again, pulls up for the 3. In his last 2, rebounded by Smits. Terrell for Scott. And they work it back. Hayward Workman now on the floor. Byron Scott, Wayne Terrell, Rick Smits, Derek McKee up front. McKee lost it off his foot. And a timeout taken. 9:52 to go. 4th quarter.
Akeem and the Rockets defend their title. Game 1 Wednesday night on NBC.
Miller Genuine Draft presents Genuine Moments.
Tonight we focus on Indiana Pacers head coach Larry Brown. Back in 1988, Brown coached the Kansas Jayhawks, led by Danny Manning, to the national championship. But did you know that back in 1968, Larry Brown was named the most valuable player in the ABA All-Star Game? Here's Larry from all angles. Nice form, little two-hand set shot by Larry Brown. And for winning MVP honors, Larry received a brand new car. And we're told he sold it for $2,800. There's more on that, which we'll get to in a moment. In recognition of that Miller Genuine Draft Genuine Moment, Miller will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. For more on the saga behind the MVP award won by Larry Brown, let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Marv. He was playing for the New Orleans Buccaneers, and he made a deal with some of his teammates and other guys in the ABA, Mel Daniels amongst them and Doug Moe, and the deal was that if he won the car, the 3 of them, if any of them won, the 3 of them would sell the car and split the profits. Well, in the middle of the game, Doug Moe decided he didn't want to do it, but Larry had already made contact with the guy if any of the 3 had won, so he ended up selling the car for $2,800 and kept it himself. Marv?
So Doug pulled out in the middle of the All-Star game. Shaquille O'Neal looking for a three-point play, fouled by Rick Smits. For Smits, his 3rd. Shaquille is now 6 of 12 at the line. 9.5 to go in the 4th quarter. And the Pacers now lead 98-71.
I noticed walking over to that last timeout, both Shaquille O'Neal, Brian Hill having a little bit of a discussion that's kind of saying, hey, how much longer? Brian was looking at Shaq, and Shaq had that look on his face like, give me a few more minutes.
Last touch by the Magic. A new 24 for Indiana. Mark Jackson back, replacing Hayward Workman.
And the irony of all this, that both coaches, Larry Brown and Brian Hill, have been working throughout the first 5 games of the series, trying to show their players that they're behind them, and in particular their centers about having fouls called on them, getting in foul trouble, and this is the first game that neither Rick Smits nor Shaquille O'Neal have been bothered by a foul situation.
Offensive foul on Byron Scott, so the ball back to Orlando. Let's check in with Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Marv, you and Matt talking about how much longer Shaquille O'Neal is going to play. He just looked over at Brian Hill as I was walking down the court and told Brian, do not take me out. He wants to continue to play. Marv?
All right, and I'm certain encouraged by another 3 by Hardaway, who has caught fire. 98-74. A 24-point lead. Smits hit on a reach-in by O'Neal. Indiana has led by as many as 35. So the Magic chipping away. Shaquille called for his 3rd. Reggie Miller makes his return. Rick Smits to the line. He is 3 for 3 at the line. 21 points and 10 rebounds. And another solid performance by Smits, who could not get into it in Game 5 because of foul trouble, although he did shoot well.
Back to getting that good position. Shaq going for the ball, but also making sure a hard hack if he didn't get the ball, and Rick Smits checking to see if he has all 5 of those fingers on the right hand.
Pacers lead 99-74.
Isn't it amazing? A 25-point lead. You can feel it in the crowd. You can sense it from Larry Brown. Not necessarily knowing they are out of the woods yet.
First field goal for Brian Shaw. Crowd is chanting for Vern Fleming, who has seen very little activity. That's an offensive foul. Basket won't count. But I don't think Vern Fleming is on the mind of Larry Brown with this run by Orlando. Although the Magic will have to come from way back, down by as many as 35. It is now a 23-point lead, but we've seen a lot of strange occurrences during the playoffs this season.
Concerned about 2 things. His team keeping their edge, and he also looks at that clock about every 3 seconds, wishing it would hurry up.
It's a 17-5 run for the Magic. Hardaway for 3. Now here's Shaw popping for 3. Brian Shaw with his first from downtown. It is down to a 20-point lead and a 20-5 run by the Magic.
And it's very difficult for the Pacers here because they're trying to use the clock, get a good shot. I'm sure they still will take a running opportunity when it's there. It's not the easiest thing in the world to hold on to these leads with the 24-second clock.
Beautiful play by Shaquille, knocking it away. Bowie pitches it back. And the steal by Davis. 3-on-1 with Shaquille back. Workman for the key. The trailer, Derek McKee, able to hit on the drive. 101-79 the score. Bowie tees it up for 3. Yes. Anthony Bowie from downtown. That's his second three-pointer. And the Magic getting back into it with a 3-point shot. 101-82. It's a 19-point lead. Lots of time remaining. We come up on 7 minutes to go in the 4th. Jackson for Miller for 3. McKee getting Indiana a new 24. Jackson behind the back for Antonio Davis. The play by Donald Royal. Although he knocked it out of bounds, it will be Indiana ball with 10 on the shot clock and a timeout taken. 6:47 left in this 4th quarter.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. By Reebok. Come see how the game is played on Planet Reebok. And by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft, making the world a very cool place.
Well, Orlando making a run by virtue of the 3-point shot. They've hit 4 of 6 from downtown in this 4th quarter. Overall 10 of 20 from 3-point land. And they are trailing 101-82, but they have been down by as many as 35. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Marv, Brian Hill telling his team that there's a lot of time on the clock. They got to scramble to try to get it back into this thing. They are not giving up. He also looked down the bench, told Nick Anderson he's got to be ready to come back in. So they're going to give it one last full effort to try to get back in this game.
Haywood Workman extends to a 21-point Indiana lead. Bowie for 3, and the 3-point assault continues. He is 3 of 3 from downtown. 103-85 with 6.5 to go in the 4th quarter. Remember back in Game 6 of the Chicago-Orlando series, Magic in the final minutes down by 8 points, but they reeled off the last 14 points to win that game and take the series.
Well, the Magic got no points from their bench in the first half. They did not get that many minutes from them either, but in this second half, Anthony Bowie, Brian Shaw, Donald Royal doing a terrific job. Somewhat making a run of this thing.
Antonio Davis playing well, extends to a 20-point lead. And back comes Jackson. Fouled by Bowie. Bowie in his his 6th year out of Oklahoma. Originally a 3rd-round pick of the Rockets back in '86.
Ball going to come in right here, and this man, Horace Grant, going to double. Antonio Davis right to the basket as Anthony Hardaway on that left block. Too slow on the rotation.
Anthony Bowie has done a good job coming off the bench, playing Mark Jackson aggressively. Orlando's hit 9 of 12 from the field here in the 4th quarter. McKee banking his way and foul. And as Ahmad mentioned a moment ago, Brian Hill talking to Nick Anderson that he would reinsert him and he will replace Donald Royal. Foul was called on Brian Shaw, his 4th. We're down to 5:47 left in the 4th quarter. Indiana leading by 20. They've led by as many as 35.
Watching Anthony Bowie as Nick Anderson was coming in, I think he was kind of hoping that it was him coming out. He is absolutely exhausted. He has come in with his usual energy and knocking down those shots.
35 for Reggie Miller. Pacers 108. The Magic 85. Shaw. That was a 3-point attack. Jackson pushing it down. Workman. And again, Indiana going with a 3-guard alignment. And Larry Brown has both Mark Jackson and Hayward Workman on the floor at the same time, which we don't see that frequently.
Well, because he needs ball handling, he needs control, and a smart move there because they're not looking to get a lot of running opportunities. He wants everything. And now the crowd is going to get their wish as the 3rd point guard, Vern Fleming, will check in.
Has to force it. Jackson went between the legs and completes the drive. 110-85. Brian Shaw off the mark. And Antonio Davis threw it away on the outlet intended for Reggie Miller. And now the crowd will get a twist. Vern Fleming, who has not played the last 13 games of the playoffs, will come on for the first time tonight. He has not seen action since Game 2 of the first-round matchup with Atlanta. Vern Fleming, over the years, a very important player for this franchise. Anderson does not stop it. And Indiana looking for a technical foul. They felt that Anderson was hanging on the rim. There is a discussion between the officials. Ed Rush indicating a jump ball. Here's another look at it. And now the technical foul has been indicated.
Well, Nick, when he went up there and tried to dunk that ball, hung on, I think he felt he was in some jeopardy here. He knew there were bodies around him, and of course you are allowed to hang on the rim if other players are underneath you to make sure that you protect yourself. So it's a late decision by referee Danny Crawford, but he felt that there was nobody there. But I don't think Nick Anderson realized that he thought he was in some trouble.
36 points for Reggie Miller as we take another look at it.
And actually Rick Smits was there, and Nick wasn't sure whether Nick was backing out far enough and wanted to make sure that he did not come down on his ankles to hold on to the rim. It's a moot point, and at this point Nick Anderson did not put that much of an argument up.
And here's Brooks Thompson making his first appearance. Rookie from Oklahoma State, first-round draft pick, coming on for Anthony Hardaway. Well, Hardaway with a trio of threes to give some hope to the Magic. An off performance by Hardaway, only 11 points tonight. Thompson.
He waited a long time. Wanted to get a feel for the game before he released his first shot.
Thompson, who does have the good outside shot, has not played the last 14 playoff games. Miller, catch and shoot from the baseline for Reggie Miller. Anderson for Bowie. And Bowie able to finish it off with 3.5 left in this 4th quarter. The Pacers with a 111-87 lead. Anthony Event has come on for the first time. So Brian Hill emptying the bench as both these clubs now look to a 7th and decisive game back at the arena in Orlando on Sunday night. Jackson for 3. And McKee with the rebound. Not to the three. Yes, and it counts in the violation. A foul committed by Anthony Event.
Vern Fleming, ever since he came into the league as a big point guard, has always been involved around the offensive board, just sneaking in on the weak side. And, you know, Marv, as we look to Game 7, it'll be interesting to see how the Pacers approach that game. If they come out in Game 7, as they did in this one, with the aggressive defense and then looking to run from that defense, because Larry Brown and his players have said since the beginning of this series they did not want to get into an up-and-down game with Orlando, especially at Orlando. But playing this way, who knows? They may try this again. And I'm sure the Orlando Magic will have to reevaluate how they want to play. They're going to be very comfortable, I'm sure, going back to their home floor where they have been so successful this year.
Thompson, nowhere to go, try to throw it out. And the ball back to Indiana. Timeout taken. 2:49 remaining in the fourth. Well, we are headed to a 7th and final game of this Eastern Conference Final Series. Headed back to Orlando on Sunday night. We'll have it for you in prime time once again right here on NBC starting at 7 o'clock in the East, 4 on the West Coast. Yes, see you in Orlando. The Pacers have lost 5 straight games in Orlando. But here at Market Square, this will be Orlando's 9th straight defeat. We're down to 2:40 remaining. And Indiana up 113-87. They jumped in front right at the start. Hot shooting by Reggie Miller in the first quarter and never looked back. There was a brief flurry here in the fourth by Orlando. Scott for 3. At one point, Indiana led by as many as 35 points. Thompson. And he is bottled up. Well, Brooks Thompson, the rookie from Oklahoma State, is headed to the line. We mentioned the Magic blown out on 3 occasions by 20 or more this season. Each time, though, they did win the next game. They came back with decisive victories over Denver and Detroit, and then they won by 4 in Portland.
Well, everybody was concerned how the Magic would react to the Game 4 situation with all the exciting shots coming down the stretch and the game winner by Rick Smits, and they came out in Game 5 able to put that disappointing loss behind them. And I don't expect any carryover from this game to Game 7. And what the Indiana Pacers are going to have to be very careful of, that they don't get too confident. I'm sure they won't. They know how difficult it is to try to knock off the Orlando Magic on their home floor.
Meanwhile, the Houston Rockets waiting in the wings. The NBA Finals will begin next Wednesday, June the 7th. The winner of this series going against the Rockets. Tyron Scott with 9 points. 118-89 Pacers with 145 remaining. Anthony Event. That is his first field goal. Well, Matt, looking ahead at the matchups, what do you think? Indiana, Houston, Orlando, Houston.
Well, as far as Indiana is concerned, Rick Smits really has problems with Akeem because Akeem can go out 17, 18 feet, face the basket, a lot of agility, quick move. So obviously a double team situation, and Rick Smits did not fare well against Houston in the 2 games, although the team split, winning on the other's home floor. And as far as Orlando is concerned, the Magic beat the Rockets twice now. Robert Horry did not play in either one of those games. Otis Thorpe played in the first one. The Magic won handily in Orlando, and then a solid win on March 2nd, about 2 weeks after the Clyde Drexler trade. And Akeem Olajuwon was not particularly strong that night, but you'll see if it's the Magic, there'll be some one-on-one confrontations between Olajuwon and O'Neal, but by and large, they'll have to be double-teaming both of those players, and you know what that means with these teams. Lots of open three-point shots.
We're coming up on 1 minute remaining in the fourth quarter. And again, they are on their feet. Vern Fleming rejected. Oh, he wanted to put it down, but it was turned away by Anthony Avant. Ryan Shaw for Jeff Turner. Shaw was looking for the three, and now takes it. Rebounded by Mitchell with 40 seconds to go. The Indiana Pacers responding so well back on their home floor following the loss in Orlando on Wednesday. They came back with the sense of urgency that the coaches like to talk about, and they just blew out the Orlando Magic. Thompson gives it back. Bowie to three-point territory, now stepping on the line, so that will be a 2. 120 to 96 with 15 seconds to go. So this series is tied at 3. And we go to a 7th and decisive game in Orlando. Able to knock it down in the final second. And that will wrap it. The Indiana Pacers over the Orlando Magic. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will hear from one of the Pacers stars tonight, Reggie Miller. That is coming up after this.
All right, Ahmad Rashad back at Market Square Arena. I'm joined by Mark Jackson and Reggie Miller. Now, Reggie, you guys have been playing well in spurts, but today you put it all together.
Well, our backs were against the wall. We were down 3-2, and, we lose. They're going on to the finals, but we wanted to come out and make a statement to them, let them know that we wanted to go back to Disney World and let it go 7 games.
Did you feel like you had to take control of this?
Well, I knew I had to be a little bit more aggressive, not necessarily taking shots, but just getting the ball in my hands and trying to create something.
All right, Mark, you predicted that you guys would go back to Orlando, and you are.
Well, I trust in the Lord. I got to thank Jesus Christ for bringing us this victory. All we wanted was a shot in Game 7, and now we're in Orlando. This guy's my telephone buddy. We talked all day yesterday and all season long. We just want a shot for Game 7, so thank God.
All right, we will see you guys on Sunday. Thank you. All right, back to you, Marv.
On about Mark Jackson, 11 points, 12 assists. Reggie Miller, as you saw, 36.6 from downtown. We'll be back at Market Square Arena in a moment. So this Eastern Conference Final Series is now tied at 3. Again, the final score, Indiana Pacers 123, Orlando Magic 96. The NBA playoffs on NBC continue on Sunday night as we bring you Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Who will meet the Rockets in this year's final? Shaq and the Magic, or will it be Reggie and the Pacers? We'll find the answer with all the action starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Sunday. For Matt Dukas, Ahmad Rashad, and Jim Gray, I'm Marv Albert. This has been the NBA on NBC.